Hello and welcome to This Week in Bitcoin, brought to you by Relay Private. I don't want to waste any time with this intro. Let's get stuck in with the news of the week. News number one are out of Venezuela, and they're pretty sad, to be honest, because the Venezuelan government, accompanied by police force, military force, and generally speaking, a lot of aggressional force, went in and closed various big mining facilities. There were also some officials who were seen on video claiming that they do this because mining is so bad for the environment and this energy that's being wasted there. Ironically, they harvest energy that is wasted, but that's a different topic, should be used to push economical growth. Venezuela is one of the hotspots for economical growth, apparently, because, if there weren't the Bitcoin mining industry, they would be doing even better. I'm being ironic, of course, this point now, because at this point, it's just ridiculous to actually give people who have the opportunity through mining, no more outlet to go out there and be part of a global economy, which is what you are if you're part of the Bitcoin ecosystem. Rather, the government has decided to shut stuff down and be really much aggressive towards Bitcoin and Bitcoin mining in particular. They should have maybe looked over to one of their neighbors on the continent, Argentina, for example, who's using flared gas and turning it into renewable energy to actually mine Bitcoin and see the benefits of this. But it's just current climate where you see in politics that one side is really aggressive towards something and the other one isn't. And therefore, there's really no room for debate in the middle. However, Bitcoin could be a solution to this, and we'll actually have some pretty important news with the following news. And those are that we now have some regulatory guidance and mostly clearance in the US with the FIT21 bill. So far, you always had this hardcore blue Democrat camp around Elizabeth Warren, who was generally anti-crypto, anti-digital assets, and particularly anti-Bitcoin because of wasting energy. And then on the other side, you had more of the free thinking, maybe even in the hardcore red core Republican camp, people who saw the benefits of Bitcoin mining and who were generally also much more closer to the energy markets compared to what the Democrats on the Elizabeth Warren side may be, who might be more on the side of traditional banking and all of these things. And you now really saw this fight going on in between, but a few representatives stepped up and proposed a bill with the FIT21, which is now finally clearance for any businesses running in the US. We already have this regulatory framework in Europe with MiCA, very interesting, especially for businesses, because you finally know what to do and what not to do. And in the US so far, this hasn't existed because you saw it with the Lightning companies. They were all shutting down now, and service providers, because they were afraid that if they continue doing something, they get compromised by the government, because at the end of the day, the government, if there is a business, has the ability to close that down. With this bill now, which also passed in the Representatives House, you now have the opportunities to give businesses this insight and saying, these are the things you can do, these are the things you shall not do. They will probably be over-regulated because we've just seen this generally over-regulated approach towards digital assets. However, there finally is some guidance and these businesses can now thrive. The idea behind it is to push American economy power forward again. And with Bitcoin and other assets, in their opinion, they'll need some time to realize that it's Bitcoin only. But nevertheless, with these assets, you have the opportunity to be a global superpower again in economical terms. And last but definitely not least, we also have some ETF news out of Wall Street. And this has really been the first couple of weeks where we saw net positive inflows into these funds. So far, we've seen a lot of selling off, probably also because of the price action. People who got in and ride the wave upwards now were afraid and they were dumping. But we've now seen a lot of inflow into all of the ETFs. And in total, just last week, we saw 22,511 Bitcoin being sold and held and shares being issued. This is a positive signal. All of these investors who did buy the dip in the ETFs, they also profited from it because the price is heading towards that all-time high again. And this could also be an impact of positive sentiment, so people are investing back into the ecosystem. But nevertheless, it'll be interesting to see if this consistent buying and inflow into these funds will keep up and what the future holds, especially now after the halving, if this actually has a bigger impact with the ETFs or if it would be better to buy outright spot. I think we know the answer. It's always better to buy spot and hold it in self-custody. But hey, everyone has to start somewhere. And with that, we're at the end of this week in Bitcoin. If you got any questions, feedback, or you just want to say hi, leave a comment below, and I'll see you next week again.